Here's a story I just been writing. My wife and I bought an old Victorian in Humboldt County. In Blue Lake, we had no idea what we were getting into. And one day I was sitting in August on the sidewalk staring at this beautiful red and white Victorian. And I started calling it Moby Dick because it had become our obsession. I knew there was going to be some work done to it, but I had no idea what it was going to take. We had to have a new foundation put in, electrical, plumbing, floors, sheetrock, roof, kitchen, 2 bathrooms. It was taking everything we had, and I started looking at it like it was starting to take our soul. So I just finished this whole bunch of renegade carpenters, and I didn't know what step to take, and I looked in the paper, and it said that today was the last day of the Humboldt County Fair, which is one of my favorite things in Humboldt County. And I thought, I have to go. This year especially was important to get to that fair. So I grabbed my 4-year-old son, Jesse. We drove down to Ferndale, California, and we walked into the fair. As we're walking in, Jesse said to me, "Daddy, how many rides am I going to get on today?" I said, "Well, as many as you can handle, Jesse. But, you're too young for some." And he says, "Yeah, I know. But the Ferris wheel's okay, right, Daddy?" I said, "Oh, yeah, the Ferris wheel's fine. But, Jesse, we got to go to a couple horse races, too." "Okay, Daddy, okay." So we made a beeline for the racing grandstand. And the grandstand is kind of like the Wrigley Field of racetracks. It's all wood and soul and sausage and smoke, and there's ghosts from other races there. And you sit up in the grandstand, you can look out at the dairy farms of Ferndale, the clouds drifting. It was just beautiful tonic from all this tension I'd been feeling about our house. So after a couple of races, we wandered around and we looked at all these caged rabbits and said hi to a couple of goats, and we were chewing on kettle corn. And we passed by the palm reader, and she called out to me, "Read your future? Find your true path?" I just looked at her. I said, "If you can find me an honest contractor, I'll pay you $200 right now." As we were walking through the grounds, we hear this loudspeaker crackle, and it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the 8th wonder of the world. In 2 minutes, the human cannonball will be shot out of this cannon and fly 150 feet in the air." Jesse said, "Daddy, what's a human cannonball?" I said, "Well, it's a guy who gets shot out of a cannon." Jesse says, "Will it hurt? Will it be fun?" I said, "I don't know. I've never seen one. We'll have to watch." But I really didn't think that they were going to shoot a guy out of a cannon. I thought it was as likely as seeing a mermaid swimming to the moon, that it was some kind of a scam. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to be astounded. The human cannonball will now fly through the air. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's an enormous explosion, and this guy in a shiny blue helmet goes flying over a couple corn dog stands and lands in a net 150 feet away, bounces up with his hands in the air, and everybody just starts screaming and chanting, and I and Jesse did the same thing. It was just incredible. Jesse says, "Daddy, that was so cool. I want to do that when I get big. You think I can?" I said, "Well, we'll have to see about that, Jesse." So we strolled over to the amusement park, and then we stepped onto the Ferris wheel. We got to the top, and we were swaying in the breeze. And Jesse was staring at all the rides below. His tongue was swishing back and forth. And he was very lost in thought looking at all these rides below. He said, "Daddy, are you old enough to ride the Twister or the Hammer?" I said, "Jesse, yes, I am." "Will I be old enough to ride the Twister someday, Daddy?" "Yes, you will, Jesse, someday." "Daddy, you see the hammer? See, it goes up, then it kind of stops, and then it goes down really, really fast. Did you ever ride the hammer, Daddy?" I said, "Yeah, I did." "Well, why don't you ride the hammer now?" I said, "Well, Jesse, the hammer scares me, and it makes me dizzy." "But does it scare the other people that ride the hammer right now?" "Yeah, I'm sure it does." And he switched his tongue back and forth. "Daddy, why do people do things that scare them? I started to laugh. He said, no, really, why do people do things that scare them? I said, Jesse, I guess they want a thrill, and they want to get their stomach tickled. Their stomach tickles when they're scared? Well, kind of. It makes them feel more alive, I guess. But they're already alive, Daddy. It's a hard question to ask, Jesse. And it was a question that I'd ask a million times when it came to our house. Why would anybody put themselves through this privilege and pay for it to renovate a house? As we were walking out of the county fair, Jesse said, are you sorry the fair is over, Daddy? I wish it would never end. I said, me too, Jesse, me too. Well, thank you very much for listening to my stories and songs here, and Tom Chen and Matt Knight over here. Mr. James Cobley-Smith is going to do a song for you.
This is Jeff Demark. You can look for him on the website. Hunting around for him. He came down. I saw him at Cal Arts.